In this video, we will look at the do-while loop syntax. The do-while loop is another alternate syntax for the while loop. Now, in the do-while syntax, the do-while loop guarantees that the loop body will execute at least one time. Let's look at the syntax here. First, we start with the keyword do, followed by a code block. And inside this code block, we list all of the statements of our loop body. Following the do code block, we have the while keyword, followed by a conditional expression inside parentheses. And now keep your eye on this semicolon. The do while syntax is one of the only loop syntaxes that has a semicolon on the outside. Now, the way we flow through this loop syntax is, first we are going to execute all of the statements inside the loop body. Then we will check to see if the conditional expression is true. If the conditional expression is true, we will go back and execute the statements in the loop body again. And we will keep doing this until the conditional expression becomes false. And when the conditional expression is false, we end the loop and go about our program. So the do while syntax can be used for both sentinel-controlled loops or counter-controlled loops, just like the while loop. Let's look at a couple examples. So I'm going to do an example of using the do-while syntax when building a sentinel-controlled loop and while building a counter-controlled loop. So for my first example, let's prompt the user to enter in passwords until the password EZ123 is entered. So let's try to set this up as a do-while loop. First, I'm going to start with the keyword do and give myself a code block. And then after the code block, I will have the keyword while, and we will build some conditional expression that ends in a semicolon. So let's think about what are we doing each time through the loop. Well, we are prompting the user to enter passwords. And so we're looking for a special password to be entered in order to stop prompting. So what I'm going to do is inside this loop, I'm going to create a prompt for a password. So password is a string variable, so I'm going to declare a string variable named password. And then inside the loop, I will create my prompt. Console.write, enter the password, and then read it in. Password equals console.readline. Now, we are guaranteed to read in the password one time. So now it's time to check to see, do we need to try again? So I'm going to say while the password is not equal to the exit condition we are looking for, EZ123, then I'm going to go back and reprompt the user to enter in the next password. And this will continue and continue. So in this do while loop, this statement that I've created right here, this is really step 1, the initialize, step 2, step 3, the work, and step 4, the update, all in one. Whereas our loop condition, step 2, is built in the while syntax. So let's run this. It tells us to enter a password. If I say EZ122, not quite right, we have re-entered the loop. So we got the first password loop do block for free, but then every other one will only occur if we enter bad passwords until a valid password is entered. If we test it again and we enter the correct password on the first try, well, we entered the code block of the loop one time, and then the while loop conditional expression evaluated to false, so we broke the loop and continued along our way. All right, let's do another example. Print hello world 10 times to the console. So again, we'll try to set this up as a do while loop. Here's my do syntax, followed by a while statement, and then we have the semicolon at the end of our while statement. So what is the work that we want to do? Well, we are printing hello world, so I will say console.writeline hello world. But this, since I know I want to loop 10 times, I need to set up a counter-controlled loop. So I need some type of counter that's going to count from a starting value to an end value. So maybe we will create a variable, int counter, started at 1, and we will say, all right, while this counter is less than or equal to 10, we will keep looping. And then in the loop, we need to update this counter. So I'm going to say counter plus plus, which is the same syntax as counter equals counter plus 1. So I've initialized my accumulator variable, have the work of my loop, my update statement, and the conditional expression. So I have all the pieces. Let's see if this works. So we'll get past our first example, easy 1, 2, 3, and then here's our hello worlds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks good. So do while loop syntax is just an alternate way of building while loops where you are guaranteed to execute the code block at least one time.